Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I have got a box of unknown contents on the table here. This was sent to me. This is a chainsaw, maybe two chainsaws, I don't know. We're going to open it up, figure it out, find out what's in it, and hopefully we can dig into it, maybe fix it. Welcome to Man Time. Well, this I don't actually know what's in here. This should be two chainsaws, but it doesn't feel like two chainsaws. Now, this is only one chainsaw. It's only one chainsaw. So this is my father-in-law's 455 X-Torque that he had ran for, I think he said 14 years. He bought new back in '98. So he's, maybe he didn't buy it new. I don't know. Maybe he's a smart guy like me, didn't buy new. But let's get this on the bench, take a look at it, see maybe if we can see any major problems with it, and dig into it. Okay, so here we go. You got a brand new chainsaw on the bench. It's not running right, and you don't know anything about it. Here's what I do. First thing, take the plug out. Get down in here with a flashlight and check out the cylinder. Alright, cylinder has light scoring on the front and nothing else to speak of. Now, the other thing I'm noticing with this chainsaw, it is clean. I mean, it is clean as a whistle. Look at this. For a '98 model 455, I mean, this is pretty much as clean as it comes. And if I saw any more scoring than what I was seeing in there, I would immediately take the muffler off. But the flip side of that is here's how it pulls over. Now there's a ton of compression. And going back to my 036 video, a ton of compression can still mean the piston is really scored up and almost there to having a stuck ring. So, not knowing anything about the saw, but like looking at the lines, like this is a nice supple line. Intake boots are nice and supple. Everything's connected. Like, I'm not seeing anything that is giving me warning that this is not going to be a good running saw. I just don't see anything. You know. So the next thing, check your high and low jets, right? Maybe it was just way out of whack. So let's start with our throttle position, and let's look at where it is. You know, is it touching? Is it actually adjusting the throttle? Yes. Alright, so let's back it off until it's not adjusting the throttle anymore. So we'll go just slightly open on the throttle. And now we'll check our jets. So we've got low jet closest to the cylinder. Let's tighten it all the way in. Half, 1, 1.5. Okay, 1.5, that's where I'd start anyway. High jet, we'll check that one also. Half, 1, 1.5, 1 and, okay, so 2. So let's just back it out to 1.5. 1.5. And let's just see where we're at. Let's add some gas to it. So this just came, you know, fresh in the mail. No gas. It's empty. Let's look at our tank. Look at our filter. Tank, clean as a whistle. And from what I know about this, they just serviced the saw. And it came back still not running right. So we'll just add some fuel here and see if it's gonna turn over, run right, not run right. So we got fresh fuel in there. We're gonna pump up. Uh-oh. Purge pump is sucking air. I already know what the problem is. There's some sort of vacuum leak. Let me bring you in. Alright, I've seen this problem before, so I know exactly what to look for. And I think I've got you zoomed right in. Here's what you want to look for. See how it's just sucking air? And you know what else? Just sucking air. I can see air bubbles coming up from right there at the fuel line as I'm doing that. Just sucking air. Now that may just be the float bowl. If I didn't see that, if I didn't see this down here on that fuel line, I would think it's maybe just the primer bulb. But that leads me to believe that we have some sort of fuel line issue. This could be pretty easy. Alright, so let's go through what actually is involved in getting this thing apart. So you've got this little blue lever thing. You can pop that out and then back. It's got a little keeper that keeps it in there. It's amazing how good a shape this thing is in for 98. I mean, props to my father-in-law for keeping it in such good shape. But from there, you know, your throttle cable just pops up out of the way, you know, to some extent. Everything is loose in here to the point where I can get an Allen on it on the carb bolts from right through here, and then on this other side, you know, right in through there. Now there's going to be some wires and some other things holding it together. It looks like, yeah, we could probably leave these two. So there's two more here and here. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take this carb apart, and we'll, you know, see where that gets us. Yeah, hopefully, you know, this video will help out some of you guys like looking to start working on chainsaws as, you know, a hobby or whatever. It's not that hard, is basically what I'm saying. As long as you have the drill set right. Jiminy Christmas, almost stripped out that plastic. Take your drill off of max. You aren't doing anything crazy here. See how that goes in there? I'm really betting, you know, when they did this carb service, they did not, you know, they didn't do a carb kit or anything. I don't think any of these repair shops will actually do a carb kit anymore. Okay, so let's see here. To get the carb out of there now, let's see what we've got to take off. Probably gonna have to take off this wiring. Have your needle nose handy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to bother trying to start it. There's no point in that, right? Okay, so there's that away from there. And again, this is the first time, you know, that I'm working on this. Let's get you zoomed right in here so you can kind of see what's going on. So I've taken out the bolts out of there. Luckily, I didn't strip that one. That's good. And from there, yeah, I don't know if I need to get these bolts all the way out or not. We'll see if we can, right? So now we've got, looks like some links into there. And what else do we have? Do we have anything connecting this to this? I don't think so. Yeah, at this point it looks like we're almost out. We've got anti-vibes. Okay, there we go. Pull out the anti-vibes. There and there. Now, I saw that there was some way to maybe get this throttle linkage actually out of here. I don't know. So let me just pull it out. Oh, look there. It just pulls out. So you pull it through and then I guess you just set it back in there. Okay. So now all we've got is, I think, our fuel lines and this little return line. So that's our purge line, and then we've got fuel line down here. Man, this looks so supple. I don't know why that would be causing our problem. But there's definitely something in the carb that is allowing air to be sucked through to here. That's what I'm seeing. Alright, let's get our choke out of here. It's going to be right here. And I think that is going to allow this to come off. It does. Alright, so now we'll blow all this off, but I want to pull up, the deal is I want to pull up our fuel line. That's gas. Haven't done that in a while. Alright, so let me show you what I'm seeing just right away. One thing, and how I found that the Welsh plug was leaking out of the front of that Zama carb, was I think I was blowing through here. Now, if I blow through there, I'm feeling very little to nothing. Now, the way that I found it was I blew soapy water all over this, and then I blew through here, and we're going to do that in a second. But what I'm seeing here is some deep gouges, like all along this fuel line. So I'm going to take and try to polish those off of there. I also cut off the end of the fuel line where it was mating up with that, gouged out deal, and it had some rips in there. So it could have been sucking air from there. But we're going to do two more things. We're going to, again, polish that out so it's nice and flat and there isn't any gouges going, between where air could get into the fuel system. And then we're going to blow compressed air through here and put soapy water on here. And if there's any air bubbles, then that's going to tell us we've got something wrong. So here's the deal. The carb sits on there like this, right? This is intake, fresh air, but fuel is being injected in through here. This is to our primer bulb. This is gasoline in. So gasoline in is sending air right here, and that's to our pulse line. That may or may not be a bad thing. Gasoline pumps in past our jet and in, well, the pulse line. Pulse is bringing the fuel in. So that circuit makes sense. Here, I'm sucking, right? When I was blowing back through here, what I was seeing was air was actually coming through the high jet. The high jet is not supposed to have any connection with our with our primer bulb line. Right? Let's check it out. So here's what's going on. And I'm probably not going to be able to recreate this for you. But right here is a little orifice. And when I blow, oh, it's our Welsh plug. You guys see that? Our Welsh plug is giving way. So this is our low jet, right? So this is the side that meets up. So this is the side that meets up with the cylinder and the intake. And when I blow back through right here in our low jet, it's coming through. It looks like there's a little hole down here in line with this Welsh plug, but there's air coming up through this whole system in here. And what that's allowing is when we do our primer bulb, it's sucking air right through here, past the fuel and up and out. So I somehow need to find out why air is leaking past this Welsh plug, and maybe even here, but it's coming from this area. And the mechanic that worked on it the last time stripped this screw out. I just took off the bottom to dig a little bit deeper here, and you can see our screen leaves a little to be desired. See if we can get in here and get a better look at it. Yeah, full of sawdust. So this is what your local repair shops are doing these days for maintenance. Leaving all the sawdust on the screen. Now that very well could have been the reason why we are having some issues. Let's just blow this whole thing out with brake clean and see how we do. Well, this could be one of the rare cases that it was just a clogged carb screen. Could be. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to say it's very likely either. But what I am going to say is that right now I don't have any other reason to believe that there was anything wrong with this carb. Again, first time I'm working on the carb, don't know where all the orifices go, but it looks like, I mean, that was kind of the air fuel taking the path of least resistance, where it should have normally probably come through the filter, but the filter was clogged. So it's hard to say, you know, what was the right thing going on there. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing back together. Okay, so let's line up one of these and line up this one to get it all kind of seated back where it goes. And then we'll line up that, and then we'll make sure our bolt holes are lined up, primarily through that one. So we'll just kind of start there. Okay, we've got our fuel line hooked up. Let's hook up our purge line. Yeah, it is not damaged, except maybe for me just then. Now I could take and put a rubber line on there. Because I mean, this could have also been the problem. But let's inspect it. Not seeing any defects in that line. And a nice snug fit on the carburetor. And let's see if there's a nice snug fit on the purge line, purge bulb. Yeah, snug, snug. Fuel line's hooked up, snug. Okay, let's continue on. Maybe we can get lucky here. Now here, I'm going to have to kind of pry the carburetor up. I think we're close here. Oh, well, that's completely stripped out. This one got any bite on it? Yeah, that one's not stripped out, but the other side is. So, we've got 1/2 of our sealing system not working, but the side that the impulse is on is not stripped out. And this isn't something my father-in-law works on, so it's not like it's his fault that that plastic is stripped out right there. It could have easily, been the mechanic. Anyway. Alright, let's get this back in here. Now again, this went through here, in here. Super easy to get that back together. And then our keeper down over that. Okay, fuel line's hooked up. That's hooked up. Keeper's keeping it in place. Let's get our disconnect here hooked back up. These are pretty easy if you've never done one. There's actually a little indentation in the plastic right there that it just kind of sits in. And again, if it's not hooked up, the machine is going to run. And then this here. You know what? Let's do this after we do this. How about that? Thought it might be easier to go the other way. It's not. There we go. So when we flip that down, we've got contact between there, and that goes from there to there, and that goes to the ground. Okay. Got everything hooked up here, I guess. Now the real issue is that I did not see any air bubbles when I pumped up my 455. It was straight gas and it was right now. So this might be one of the rare cases where we actually do need a carb, but we'll see. Right now, right here. Now that is pretty much all gas. Maybe it was just that carb filter. Let's try to start it. We are at that stage. We are pumped up. We are ready to fire. Nice thing about the Husqvarna, the choke goes on, stop comes off. Let's see how it's running here. We are 1.5 turns out. What? Okay, no, we're good to go. God love a Husqvarna. Well, it initially had more idle, so we'll give it more idle. And let's take our load jet down about a 1/4 turn. Oh man, that makes me extremely happy. Alright, so now we have essentially a go saw. 1998 model, runs fine. I think the next step from here is to take it to Power Town. I think that starts with a muffler mod, checking out that piston. At least now we know we have a good running saw. Let's restart it here, just as you would out in the field. Now that may have a slight case seal leak. Sound like it was coming from the flywheel side, but yeah, I don't know. If I'm going to port it, probably going to take the jug off, probably going to do a gasket delete, probably going to take the muffler off there, probably going to do a new piston, and while I'm in there, might do case seals. Probably going to do case seals. But yeah, she's running good now. So check those carburetors out, man. Yeah, that one there, I thought there was an issue, maybe with the primer bulb, maybe with the Welsh plug. Turns out it was just the path of least resistance was coming from the top of the bowl for the two-stroke carbs, rather than coming through the fuel filter or fuel screen, which was clogged. So, man, running good. I think I'm going to put this in some wood. All right, that's going to do it for today on Man Time, guys. Get out there, have you some Man Time too. Let's actually do one more thing here. See if we can spray some brake clean down in behind the flywheel. The flywheel is one solid unit, right? So to check to see if it's leaking through the flywheel side case seal, spraying it at the flywheel just sends it up into the air filter and it'll kill it anyway. And it started running not great there, starving for fuel. Just don't know. We'll have to wait and find out.